Picture this. It's late evening in a small apartment somewhere in America. The dishes are done, the lights are dim, and two people are sitting on opposite sides of the couch. Nothing dramatic has happened, no big argument, no raised voices, just silence. One person is scrolling through their phone, the other staring at a laptop screen with a budgeting app open. On the surface, everything looks normal. But beneath that quiet moment sits something heavy that millions of couples are feeling in 2026. Not anger, not resentment, something subtler: pressure. Because money has slowly become the invisible third person in the room. Years ago, relationship stress usually came from obvious things: communication problems, family issues, career choices. Money was always part of the conversation, but it wasn't the emotional center of it. Today, that dynamic is changing. Financial pressure is no longer just about paying bills. It's about uncertainty. It's about the feeling that no matter how responsible you try to be, the ground beneath your financial life keeps shifting. Rent goes up faster than expected. Groceries cost more every month. Healthcare surprises appear without warning. Student loans sit quietly in the background like a long shadow following you through adulthood. None of these things happen all at once. They arrive gradually, quietly stretching the emotional space inside relationships. And what makes this pressure different from the past is that modern financial stress is rarely visible from the outside. Two people might both have jobs, both appear stable, both technically earning decent incomes, but internally they may feel like they're constantly trying to outrun expenses that keep accelerating. One partner might worry about saving for the future, the other might worry about surviving the present. And slowly, conversations that used to be about dreams begin to revolve around numbers. Not because people want that, but because money has become the background soundtrack of daily life. Psychologically, money carries a deeper meaning than most people realize. It represents security, freedom, and control over the future. When those things feel uncertain, the mind begins searching for stability anywhere it can find it. Inside relationships, that search sometimes turns into quiet tension. One person may feel they're carrying more financial responsibility. The other may feel guilty for not contributing enough. Small purchases suddenly carry emotional weight. A simple decision like ordering dinner or planning a vacation becomes a subtle negotiation. Over time, the financial conversation stops being about math and starts being about identity. What kind of life are we building? Are we moving forward or just staying afloat? Are we safe? These questions rarely get asked directly, but they echo quietly in everyday decisions. At the same time, the world outside the relationship keeps broadcasting a completely different story. Social media shows couples traveling constantly, buying homes, upgrading lifestyles, celebrating financial wins. Even if those images represent only a small fraction of reality, the brain absorbs them as comparison points. Suddenly, a couple who is managing their finances responsibly may still feel behind, not because they're failing, but because the cultural picture of success has become louder than ever. This comparison quietly amplifies stress inside relationships. Two people might both be working hard, but the outside world keeps reminding them of what they haven't reached yet. And that's where something interesting begins to happen. Financial pressure starts influencing emotional behavior in subtle ways. People become more cautious. They delay major life decisions like moving, having children, or starting businesses. Conversations about the future grow more complicated because every dream now carries a price tag attached to it. Even love begins interacting with economics in ways previous generations rarely experienced. Stability becomes attractive, not just emotionally, but financially. Security becomes a form of romance. Around the middle of this conversation, it's worth pausing for a second. If these ideas resonate with you, you're watching Andrew Finance, a channel where we explore the deeper psychology behind money, success, and the economic forces shaping everyday life. If you enjoy thinking about finance beyond simple budgeting tips, take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who has these same late-night thoughts about money and the future, and subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. Because the truth is, the financial pressures affecting relationships today are part of a much larger shift happening in society. For decades, the traditional economic model promised something simple: work hard, build a career, and stability would gradually follow. That model created a predictable rhythm for relationships. Couples could plan their lives around relatively stable expectations of income growth, housing affordability, and long-term financial security. But the modern economy operates differently. Income growth is uneven, housing markets fluctuate wildly, entire industries evolve faster than career paths can adjust. Technology changes the value of skills almost overnight. The result is a financial environment where certainty is harder to find. When certainty disappears, people begin looking for emotional anchors. Relationships often become that anchor. But when both partners are experiencing the same economic uncertainty, the relationship absorbs the stress instead of stabilizing it. That doesn't mean love becomes weaker. In many cases, it becomes stronger because people learn to navigate challenges together. But it does mean the emotional weight carried by modern relationships is heavier than it was for previous generations. Money stress quietly shapes conversations, decisions, and expectations. It changes how people think about commitment, risk, and the future. And when you zoom out even further, something deeper becomes visible. The problem isn't just that money causes stress. The deeper issue is that modern financial systems move faster than human psychology can comfortably adapt to. Our brains evolved to seek stability and predictability, but the modern economy constantly reinvents itself. New technologies appear, entire job categories transform, prices rise and fall unpredictably. Inside that environment, relationships become one of the few places where people hope to find something stable, which means the emotional pressure placed on those relationships naturally increases. Yet hidden inside this challenge is also a quiet opportunity. When couples begin understanding the real forces behind their financial stress, the conversation inside the relationship starts to change. Instead of blaming each other for money problems, they begin recognizing the larger economic environment shaping those pressures. Instead of interpreting financial anxiety as personal failure, they start seeing it as part of a system that millions of people are navigating simultaneously. That realization creates a powerful shift. Because once money stress stops being a personal battle between partners, it becomes a shared puzzle to solve together. And that's the perspective most people eventually discover after years of navigating finances inside a relationship. The real enemy was never each other. It was the silent pressure of an economic system evolving faster than anyone expected. When you understand that, the conversation about money transforms. It stops being about who spent what, who earned more, or who made the better financial decision. It becomes something deeper: how two people move through uncertainty together while still protecting the one thing money can't buy: trust. Because in the end, relationships don't collapse under financial pressure simply because money is tight. They collapse when the pressure convinces people they're fighting alone. And the moment two people realize they're on the same side of the equation, money stops being the invisible third person in the room. It becomes just another challenge they're learning to solve together.